Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We already have our carcasses for our end tables all assembled. The next step for us is to start building all of our drawer boxes. We're going to make them out of solid mahogany. The panels are already ripped to their final widths. So the next step is to start cutting all of our dados for the bottom panels, and then also go over to the miter saw and start doing all the actual joinery. We're probably going to lock everything together with half laps, but again, the first step is to come over here to the table saw to cut a couple of dados. It's easier to cut dados in a long piece before you cut it up to all of your actual drawer box pieces. One, to make sure that all your dados are perfectly consistent, so your bottom drawer or your bottom shelf all lines up when you actually go to assemble your box. And maybe it's only strictly psychological. I find it easier to run, longer pieces through the table saw versus doing a bunch of small passes. Just me. You guys might prefer to cut everything up to all your individual pieces than run your dados. I'd rather do it in one long rip, especially when you know your rip is already jointed and perfectly flat, because we did all that over on the joints or in the planer. And the next step is just to interfence over into the dado that you actually want. You could also set up a dado set, but because I'm using 1/4" plywood as the bottom panel, there's no need to actually set up a dado set. It typically can get done with 2 simple passes with a full curved blade. But after we get all the dados cut, I'll catch back up to you guys over at the miter saw. Now the next step for me is to cut everything to the proper length. One thing you want to make sure you do is actually square up all of your edges before you make your continuous cuts. But after I get all that figured out, the next step is to set up stop blocks for each one of the individual cuts. The front panels are smaller than the side panels. And then also you want to make sure that you take into account how much you actually need for your half laps. So if the overall across, let's say your whole drawer box is 10 inches and your side panels are 3/4 of an inch, you need to minus 1.5 inches. But then, for your front panel, but then you want to add the length of each one of your 10s or your half laps. So if it's going to half lap into the 3/4 sides by 3/8, you need to add 3/8 times 2. So you'll add back a 3/4 inch total to your actual front panel. You want to kind of keep that in mind as you cut everything to length, because nothing will suck more than cutting things too short than not being able to do your half laps or your drawer box itself getting too small. So pay attention to that, especially since we're using wooden drawer slides. So we need our drawer box to end up at a precise overall dimension for it to work properly and not be too sloppy. So take your time here and make sure you get everything lined up before you start making all of your cuts. After this, we're going to set up all of everything we need to do so we can start doing all of our half laps, which will take just a little bit of setup, because the first thing you need to do is actually set up your depth stop on your miter saw. Typically, it's right there on the left-hand side of the saw. It's either a screw or a flip stop, and that flip stop allows your blade to not come all the way down or bottom out on the saw. So what you need to do is just take a scrap piece of material and set it to whatever you want the bottom of your half lap to be. In this case, with my material being 3/4 of an inch, actually I think it's like 5/8, but whatever your material is, you want to set it to half of your actual material thickness. If it's 3/4, you want your blade to bottom out at 3/8, and kind of set your blade until you get to that point. And then you want to do the math that actually sets up for the shoulder to be the length that you want. So if you want a 3/8 by 3/8 inch tenon, you need to set up a stop block that will allow you to cut that shoulder for that 3/8 inch tenon. So what I ended up doing was, one, you need a sacrificial piece up against the fence to bring your piece out far enough to where your blade actually bottoms all the way out, because it is a circular blade all the way up against the fence. You're not gonna have the blade bottoming out. It's you'll kind of, if you ever use a circular saw or a miter saw, you'll kind of get that. So first thing you need to do is add a sacrificial fence up against your miter saw fence to bump your stock outward. But let's say again your overall piece is 10 inches and you want a 3/8 inch shoulder on either side, you can set up a stop block to where your blade lands right at that 3/8 inch mark. Then you can actually flip the piece end for end and cut both shoulders and come back and clear out the waist once you cut all of your shoulders. That way you're ensured that they're all in the exact right place. Again, I'm saying a lot, but setting up your stop blocks for this process is extremely important, because whenever you do a box like this, you don't want to have a loose gap whenever you go assemble your half laps. So trying to eye a 3/8 inch shoulder and cut it accurately multiple times can be a little hard. But if you cut off your shoulders afterwards, all you have to do is come back and clean up all the waste, and you know that each one of your half laps are going to be identical. So that's the system and method I'm trying to set up right now. Afterwards, you guys will see me pretty much batch out all the cuts and how quickly it can go once you have everything dialed in. And voila, as you guys can see, we have a solid mahogany drawer box that just needs to be glued together. But each drawer box actually needs a set of drawer runners. And in this case, I want to do something a little bit different. My biggest problem with wooden drawer slides is that whenever you pull on the drawer too much, one, it comes all the way out. And two, whenever you bump a drawer or a wooden drawer cabinet in general, your drawer box might rattle or come outward. Especially if it's a smaller nightstand that might get bumped over or leaned on or whatever else. So I want to introduce a series of stops that, one, are integrated into the actual drawer runners that mounts to the drawer box, and on the actual drawer guides or supports that are mounted to the inside of the cabinet. And how this is going to work is essentially by adding a small 1/4-inch piece to the inside of my runner, and then 2 1/4-inch pieces to my actual drawer box slide. One will be kind of set back, maybe about a 1/2 inch to an inch from the very front, so that way when the drawer box is fully closed, you can't pull it out unless you lift up slightly to make sure those two stops can kind of disengage each other. And once it continues to slide, the final stop will be attached to the very back end of my actual drawer runner. So as the drawer box comes out, it will catch onto the stop that's attached to the drawer slide or guide. A lot of rambling, but after I get all these little test pieces kind of assembled, just to see how it works, it'll make a lot more sense once everything's assembled. But the first step in this process is to glue these 1/4-inch stops to each one of my runners. I didn't want to use nails or any fasteners or a bunch of clamps, so I'm actually just going to use tape for this. And then later, the next step for me will actually be trimming everything up over on my hand tool bench with a couple different block planes. So I'll catch up to you guys once all this glue up is all done, and I can actually show you guys the results of this portion right here. And now that everything's already glued up, one of the issues that I ended up finding was I didn't want to try to glue a piece of 1/4-inch spacer the exact width of all my runners, and they ended up being too small, so I actually made them slightly oversized. So now I have to actually clean up that slight oversized 1/4-inch spacer. So what I'm going to do, again, I could have sent them through the planer or something like that, but I decided it'd be a lot more fun now that I have my hand tool bunch here. Take a couple quick passes with my planes just to kind of even everything out. I can finish it up with a sander if I need to, or as a final pass through the planer. But again, I love using my hand plane whenever I really can. It's a really satisfying exercise, and I think I gotten pretty good at it. I think I can I flattened 2 tabletops so far with just my hand plane. So it's a great exercise. If you have a hand tool bench inside of your shop, try to find ways that you can incorporate it into any one of your modern day projects. You will find and be surprised of the things that you can use it for that you typically wouldn't. And projects are not projects, but processes that typically would be a lot harder or more cumbersome to do with a electric tool. Like in this case, I would have to pull out my planer, etc., to run these few small pieces through, when my hand plane can do it in just a couple seconds. So think about your operations and think about the tools you have on hand. Hand tools sometimes are actually the best choice for the operation. But after this, we're going to start assembling our drawer boxes, so I'll catch up to you guys once we get to that point. Hopefully you guys are enjoying up to this point also. If you guys are, this is a great chance to go down below, smash that like button, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel. It definitely helps me grow, and I appreciate all of you guys' support. All right, I'll catch up to you guys once we get past this. All right, and the last step is to actually assemble all the drawer boxes. The first thing I want to do is actually mount all of my drawer runners, and to do so, I had already double-sided taped them to the side of each one of the panels and pre-drilled a hole, so that way I already can help locate them once I spreaded the glue. So pretty much I had to drive in the screw just a little bit, and it'll kind of bite into the pre-drilled hole on each one of the runners. So that way, I wasn't smearing glue all over the side, because these are hardwood drawer boxes, and you don't want to have a bunch of glue squeeze out, and you also don't want to have a bunch of glue to clean up. So by taking this precaution, I was able to get all those in without having too much of a fuss. After all the runners are installed, the next step is the very easy process to actually assemble the drawer box. You want to actually apply glue to each one of your half laps and then slide in your bottom panel. Afterwards, you'll drop in your other two sides and then clamp everything together. It's a pretty easy process. Once you have everything assembled, you want to wait for the glue to dry, clean up any excess as it dries, and afterwards we're going to end up sanding everything up, making custom drawer fronts, and then getting them installed into each one of the cabinet carcasses. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this process so far. If you guys have, definitely leave me a like, comment, subscribe, check out my other social media being Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. And yeah, also, if you guys have enjoyed, definitely check out one of these other two videos right here. Hopefully you guys will enjoy those as well. See you guys in the next one. Peace.